I knew I was going to love doing this video. Thank you for voting, Dior, everyone. Oh wow, what a combination. Hi everybody, so today we have a full face of Dior. This was my most requested look to do. Some time ago I did ask you all which brands you'd most like me to do a full face of. I got a huge reply with over 15 brands I think, and the ones that came top, the 4 top ones, I put them into a poll and asked you to vote for the one you wanted to see the most, and Dior was the clear winner. So today I am doing that full face of Dior, and if you know me, you know I absolutely love Dior, so I can't wait to do this. I'm glad you picked it, because if there was one brand I was going to choose, it would probably be Dior, so thank you for that. And if you're new here, hi, my name's Hannah, I'm 48, I'm not a professional, I'm just somebody who really loves makeup and beauty. And here on my channel, I show you the latest releases, my favourite looks such as today, and give you any beauty news you might be interested in. If you think you'd enjoy this content, I do upload here regularly, and I would absolutely love it if you subscribe to my channel. Lots of people tune in without subscribing, but it's so very helpful to me if you do. So if you do, thank you ever so much. But if you're already subscribed, welcome back. I really appreciate every single one of you, I honestly do. And my skin tone, I have fair to light skin with predominantly cool undertones that can lean a little neutral. I've got blue eyes. I've also got combination skin that's mostly dry, but I do get an oily T-zone. Anyway, that's enough about me. Let's dive straight into a full face of Dior. So sitting in front of me is a box full of the Dior products I've picked out for today. I've tried to go for something that's a little bit summer appropriate because I'm filming this in July. So obviously I've got quite a big collection of Dior because I do tend to review all of their new releases. So I've picked out the products that I think are some of the absolute best, and also my personal favourites, but also ones that are appropriate for the time of year, for this sort of weather and for the sort of colours that work in this season. And I'm going to start off by showing you my latest gift, because when it comes to Dior, nobody gives gifts quite as magnificently as Dior. They do the most gorgeous gifts with purchase. I am aware that in some countries you don't get quite the same gift. Some countries might get better gifts, some countries might not. So I do apologise if this isn't the case for you, because I do sometimes hear that back. And if that is the case, I don't fully understand why, but I'm sorry if that is the case, I really am. But here in the UK, we are extremely lucky, and I am superbly grateful for the gifts that they send. So very often, as I said, they're gifts with purchase. But this gift here is my latest platinum gift. So as you go through, I think silver or bronze, silver, gold, platinum, once you reach platinum, that's the highest level. You get a gift for each level as you go up. Basically, the more you spend, the higher you go. So for me, because I reviewed Dior, I'm always on platinum. And what they do with platinum is every year, if you spend the right amount, or maybe it's not even every year, but every time you spend a certain amount, you've hit platinum again. So you get your platinum award again. So it's not one of these reward systems where you just get the platinum award once and that's it. You reach the top tier and you're done. With Dior, they put you back to zero with your spend, and the minute you hit a certain amount, you get another platinum gift. So this is my latest platinum gift, and it's so gorgeous, so I thought I'd show you. So firstly, it's coming in this absolutely stunning box, very solid, lovely material. I don't know if you know these Dior boxes. If you've purchased from them, I'm sure you do, but they're just gorgeous. They're very weighty and very reusable, and they make a really nice sort of gift box for somebody. But inside this, I got a full-size bottle. I say full size, it's not massive, but it is full size, of perfume. So I thought that was wonderful. And it's the J'adore perfume, which is one of my favourite fragrances from Dior. In fact, it's the only really line from Dior that I love. So I was really delighted that I got this. So look at the bottle. And I don't know if they always look like this, or if this is the prestige bottle. I'm not sure. If you've got this perfume, you would know, J'adore. But it is, oh wait a sec. I'm saying it's perfume. It's saying hair mist. Oh, so that's my mistake. So if you've got the perfume, you probably don't have this bottle, but I'm not going to complain about that because I love spraying perfume in my hair. In fact, let's do a bit of that now. Oh, how wonderful. Dior hair mist. That's such a luxury, isn't it? Oh, it's such a gorgeous smell. Yesterday when I got it, I put it on like a perfume and I didn't even notice it was a hair mist. But anyway. And also, appropriately, coming with the hair mist, inside this bag, they gave me a Dior hairbrush. So, just give it a quick whirl. Well, that's a nice brush. It's a nice size as well. Oh, I like that. Look at it. Isn't it beautiful? So that is an absolutely stunning gift from Dior. It really is. So they are the best for that. They really, really are. So thank you, Dior, for my latest gift. Well, thank you to me, myself, for doing all the purchases to achieve the level of platinum so regularly, because I do spend a small fortune with Dior, but nobody rewards you in the same way. They really don't. So let's get started with this full face, and the first thing I'm going to start with is primer. Now this isn't something I reach for from many brands. I either don't use a primer, or I just go for a moisturising primer, or lately I've been going for my grippy one from Maybelline. But the two options I've brought out here are the Forever Glow Star Filter, which is a glowy base, which I won't use today, but I just wanted to show you that that is an option as an all over glow, which you could use as a primer or just in the places where you want glow. But I do find with Dior that most of the products I use when I'm using Dior are their glowy sort of blush or highlight products, so I would never actually need that. But if I was going for a no makeup day and I just wanted a natural glow, this on the top of my makeup is how I'd prefer to use it. The primer I will be using today, which is still glowy, is the Forever Glow Veil, and you can see from this one I have used this over a period of time, certainly a lot more. It's a really nice primer, this one, and it just basically acts for me as a moisturiser. I'm not entirely sure it makes your makeup last very much longer, but when I'm using Dior base products, they always last on me anyway, so I don't think it makes any difference whether I use this or not, because their foundations are the best I've got ever. They really are. They're my #1 foundations. So this just gives a nice, it is quite grippy, it's not super thin, so it's got a slightly tacky finish, which might help, I suppose, but most of all it's giving a nice glow and it's giving you a bit of moisture, so you're getting that bit of hydration, which if like me you've got predominantly dry skin, it's always good to have a little bit of hydration locked in. Now you probably noticed, as many people often comment on, my skin looked very shiny before starting this, and that's because of all my skincare, which I put on nearly an hour ago now, but under these lights it always looks super glowy and shiny, and that's because my skincare always makes me glow a lot. So now I'm glowing even more with my Dior Glow Veil, which also has, as usual, a lovely fragrance. It's very light though. I love Dior fragrance, but you do need to enjoy fragrance when you use Dior, that's for sure. So now moving straight into foundation. So I recently reviewed this from Dior, which is why I'm going to quickly show it, but I'm not going to put this one on. This is the Prestige Cushion Foundation, the Dior Prestige Cushion Teint de Rose, and this is probably my favourite foundation in my collection right now. I think it is. I am actually going to film a side... Wait a second, I was just going to say I'm going to film a side by side with this Dior stick because people wanted to know how they compared, but seeing as we're doing a Dior full face, maybe I should do it now instead. Shall I? Maybe I will. They will look different though, they have different finishes, so why not? I will do it now. But this one, I wasn't going to include this one because it only has a few shades and it's not available in very many countries, and this one was my #1 foundation out of every single brand that launched last year, and it's my #1 foundation full stop, the Dior stick. This is the Dior Forever Skin Perfect foundation stick, and I've now got it in the shade 1CR. I was using it in 1N, which is what I've got this in. This one, I can't get it in cool shades, but luckily 1N is quite cool. So I think I will compare the two of them today because it's an opportunity to show you. So let's just start straight away by applying this on one side of the face. And this is one of these foundations where it's literally on in a matter of seconds because it just goes straight on like a skincare. It smells absolutely glorious. This is the one that's packed full of hundreds of rose petals. It's their most expensive, most beautiful foundation. But they do sell this in bottle form, I've been told. So I definitely recommend looking this one up, the Prestige foundation, in the bottle form, because the formula is absolutely stunning. I'm just adding a little bit more so I've got a bit more coverage, because I know that the foundation stick will give me more coverage, so I'm just trying to add more coverage with this so that I'll have roughly the same on both sides. And you can see how this is buildable because I've gone in now with that next layer and it's given me a lot more coverage. I think because I love this so much, something I might try is I might buy the bottle version and top up the cushion for when I want to use it, because I think I can add some of the product into the cushion. Have any of you ever tried that? Because when Titi launched their new foundations recently, they launched the red bottle one. In the PR packages that went out to some of the creators here on YouTube, I wasn't one of them, but I saw somebody reviewing it with a PR package and they were given 2 empty cushion packs with the bottle. So the suggestion was you could put it into the cushion. So I'm wondering if when you've got a cushion, if you've got the bottle, rather than just buying the refill, could you just add a little bit more? So if you've ever tried doing that, I'd love to know if it works, because that would be, when it costs this much, you don't really want to be topping up all the time. That's the one side there done with that lovely cushion, and now I'm going to go in with 1 CR of the stick. It's not actually that different in colour, is it? I did think that 1N in this cushion was a little cool, which was great news for me. I'm just going to use the same brush. I know I probably shouldn't when I'm trying different ones, but I did pretty much pat it off. I just love this brush from Rapha. And just like the cushion, this stick is just blended in. Look at that. They just both are just on in seconds. They're so good. The difference with the cushion, the stick, is it is definitely more of it has more of a dry down. You don't need to powder on top of it quite as much. In fact, if you're somebody who doesn't like to use powder, you might even find you don't need to set this one. So a light layer of this without a very glowy, well not glowy, without a very hydrating base underneath like the primer, I think you might find you get away with this one without setting, because I think you can probably see now that you can see much more of a sort of wet glowy look from this side compared with this side. It has a slightly more matte finish, but it's not purely matte, it's definitely got that bit of glow as well. It's just a beautiful, beautiful formula. It's just so quick. If you want to build it up, you can just put it on. So good to travel with. It's my most used foundation, it really is. It's the one I've taken the most with me when I go away. In fact, I think now I've got my holiday coming up next week. These are the 2 I'll take, the cushion and this stick. So I've got the option of both. Because if it's too hot and I feel like my makeup's going to slide off a bit, the stick would be the better option for me in the heat over this one, which definitely has more of a wet finish and definitely needs more powder. So it depends on your preference. Do you want more glow, or do you want something that's a bit more self-setting, has a bit more of a dry down? But if we're going to talk about longevity and wear, both of them absolute perfection. Both still there by the end of the day, both still looking beautiful, not going into fine lines, not caking, not wearing off, staying on my chin and my nose, and just even before I go to bed, really late at night, I still look in the mirror when I'm wearing either of these and I think, oh, my skin looks really good today. And it's because I'm wearing Dior foundations. They are just so good. So that is a very good start. But I think you can see there's definitely a difference between the two, if that comparison was useful to you. Next, I'm going to go in with contour. And this is one of the best contours in my collection, if not the best, and that is the contour stick from Dior. And this one I've got in the lightest shade, so this is shade 01 Light. Has that same Dior fragrance again, and it just glides on so effortlessly. It is very creamy. Now just taking my Mario F4 brush. That's one thing I don't have. Well, I actually do have some Dior brushes, because funnily enough, that was one of my gifts from them, but I've never actually tried them because they weren't the sort of shape that I like to use. But anyway, you can see how this contour just is a perfect shade for me as a contour, but it gives me enough of a pop of a colour to not feel I need to put any sort of cream bronzer on. I often like to do cream contour and bronzer underneath before I powder, but this shade I can apply it quite liberally and it works as both really. So if you're someone who doesn't like to go in with a powder bronzer afterwards, if you apply this a little bit more so it shows through, then you can just use this as your contour and your bronzer. It's just gorgeous. every time I use it I think, why would I use anything else? I do love some other contours which I won't go on about now, but nothing is better than this, that's for sure. Again, I think this would probably be my holiday choice because it's just so easy. At the moment I'm talking about holiday choice a lot because I'm going away just in a few days and I haven't started doing any makeup packing yet, so I'm trying to, in my mind, make a sort of final decision on the makeup I'll take with me, which I will do a video of. A lot of you have asked me if I'll do that. When I get back, I think what I'll do is I'll film with the actual bag I return with to tell you how I got on with everything. So now on to concealer. Now when it comes to concealer, I don't actually have a Dior concealer that I use regularly. There isn't one that I really love. So I'm going to use this one today. This is the Dior Backstage, which can be used on face and body, this concealer. And I've got this in the shade 0N. It's actually been such a long time since I used it. I don't know if it's still even in good condition. So they are not a favourite for me when it comes to concealers. I do have written down on my product list Skin Forever Correct Concealer. Sorry, Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer, which I was going to use, but when I went to get it today, the colour was too dark. So I don't know if I'm just missing. I've stopped doing it recently, but I always used to buy 2 shades of concealer, one that would be like sort of peachy to colour correct, and then one for brightening. But recently I've just been putting a little bit of corrector on before I start my makeup, so I've been skipping that buying that darker concealer and I'm just going for the brightening shade. So that's why I didn't do that today. But this shade 0N is quite a good brightening shade for me and is actually blending out beautifully. Maybe this one should be added to my regular rotation. It's good, isn't it, when you pull things out for these videos and go back. Why didn't I use this before? It's blending out absolutely beautifully. And do you know what? I forgot to put my, I've just realised I forgot to put my Delilah Wake Up Cream on, the eye perfector, which I always do. And usually I get on quite badly with my concealers if I don't. But even without my Delilah, that's gone on absolutely beautifully. Well, there we go. This one might have to stay on my desk and I might have to use it. So I'll just pop it into the areas where I just want a little bit of brightening. And chisel the contour line a bit there. And tap that in now with my Mario F4 brush. This is blending in just like skincare, just like everything I've used so far. So I don't think when it comes to base products, Dior can be beaten, to be honest. I'm not sure why I haven't used this, because I certainly will be using it again now. That's lovely. It's not full coverage by any means, but it's beautiful, and this is the sort of coverage I like from a concealer. I like one that just blends in really easily and gets absorbed by the skin like I'm applying skincare without caking or settling into fine lines, and that is 100% what's happening with everything I've just put on my face. I do look superbly glowy right now, I really do, and I think a lot of that's down to the glowy primer on top and then putting glowy foundations on top. So I'm getting quite desperate for powder now. So for powder, I've got the Dior Forever Cushion Powder, and I've got this one in the shade Lavender. And I picked this up when they launched this limited edition case, which last time I checked was still available. So I don't know if you can still get it. I've linked it below in case it's still available. I'm just going to tap all over using my favourite new sponge, which is this one from Morphe. They are so good. I just love them. I haven't used any other sponge since getting this for doing this job, which is taking off excess. Especially in these areas here where it tends to go into all my lines, but also underneath the eyes. Now this powder I'm about to use works for me under the eyes and on the face. In fact, I like it so much I bought a second one, which will give you an idea of how much I do like this one. I don't talk about this one when I talk about my favourite powders because I know it's limited edition. This is one that's got that net, which I actually really like for application instead of tapping into a lid. And this has quite a lovely fragrance, this one, really pretty. It's not too strong. but it's got sort of Dior floral fragrance. And this is a really nice shade, the Lavender, for under the eye brightening. Can you see how much that's really brightened? I already had quite a bit of brightening from that concealer shade, but it's definitely given me more, and it's just such a blurring powder. It's gorgeous, which is why I bought another one straight away when I tried it. Again, this could be my holiday powder. Am I going to end up taking all Dior, or should I test other products? I want to enjoy my makeup on holiday and not feel like I'm working, but at the same time I want to let you know when I get back how effective they are on holiday. Let me know if you can. Would you like me to take my YSL, the loose powder, which is more new? I'll let you know, but I already know how good that is. I haven't tested it in the heat. I haven't tested it in extreme heat, I suppose. So if you'd like me to, let me know. Otherwise, I might just take whatever. Maybe it'll be this, because this is lovely. The reason I ask you, should I take the YSL, is because that's my current #1 powder. So now I'm going to tap this in all over the rest of my face. I have just realised that I'm using today the Dior cream blush, and I was thinking of putting a little bit on before powdering. It's not something you need to do, and it's not something I particularly do actually with the look I'm going for today. But anyway, I've forgotten to do it because I've already powdered. But just so that you know, when we get to the blush in a second, I could have applied the cream, a light layer, and then lock it in with a powder, which would have given me more longevity with my blush. So certainly if I was looking for something, especially now on holiday again, if I'm looking for something I want to last all day and I can be more secure in the knowledge that it'll still be there in the evening, I would have gone for that little bit of blush before putting my powder on, just to lock a little bit in before then going in with more on top. So next I'm going to go with a powder bronzer, which is one thing with Dior I don't get on well with. I'm not going to say their formulas aren't fantastic, and in the one I'm going to show you now, I think this is their best formula, but the reason these are no good for me is they never ever have any cool shades. So the one I'm showing you is one of their very newest bronzers. So this one launched fairly recently. This is the Dior Forever Nude Bronzer. And this one also came in 2 different formulas. One of them was the glowy one, so this one isn't. This is just the matte, I believe. It doesn't say so on the back. It just says Nude Bronzer, so maybe it isn't the matte. But anyway, I got both of them in the shade 02 Light. And for some reason, and that was the lightest at the time, they didn't have a 01. And for some reason, I can't find my other one. So I can't show you the difference between the two. I don't know why. So this isn't awful on me, but it is a bit yellow. But if there's one time I can get away with a bit of a yellow bronzer, it's certainly in the summer. And I don't think this one looks awful on me. I do lean a little bit neutral, so I can get away with these sort of shades a little bit. But my preference for a bronzer is a more cool tone. But as you can see, the formula on this is just so easy. It just goes on so easily. It just melts into the skin, absolutely effortless. So if you've got neutral to warm undertones, you're going to love this if you haven't already got it. It is beautiful. And it looks so natural. In fact, I'm really liking that for a summer blush. Isn't it strange how I've put this away thinking never wear it because it's not cool enough, but maybe in the summer. I might have even said that when I reviewed it, that it would be good in the summer, and then I haven't got it out. So maybe I should leave it out, because it does look quite nice for a summery bronze, doesn't it? See, Dior can do no wrong with me. And I do love the packaging on this, and at least with the bronze shade, it makes it easier for me to find. So now to finish the complexion, I'm going to do my blush. And the very, very easy choice for me is their new launch with blushes, because these are phenomenal for me. I absolutely adore them if I can get them open. So I've chosen Toffee because I'm going for a summery look, and this is their new Backstage blush, the full title being the Rosy Glow, and this is number 103, the Toffee. I do love Toffee and Pink and Lilac. I think they're my 3 favourites. The pink is the most natural one on me, the one I've got the most compliments with. I really love the pink, but I love Toffee. I really, really love it. And I haven't worn it enough since reviewing it because I review so much. So since we're going for a summery look, I'm definitely going to wear this today. It's not terribly pigmented, Toffee, so if you've got fair skin, you can get away with this. It's a really just gorgeous neutral, but such a gorgeous colour. It does have a bit of gold in it, so you do need to be aware of that. And today, because I want to show you a few Dior products, I am going to be very glowy because I'm getting the glowy blush, which really doesn't need any sort of highlighter or extra glow, does it? But I'm going to do it today because I want to show you my favourites. So I'm going to be super shiny, but I probably wouldn't apply these all together normally. So I'll stop there so I'm not wearing too much of it. You can see how quickly and easily that applied because I've just been chatting and it's done so easy, and it's just a gorgeous colour. I'm going to top it with the Toffee Glow Stick. This is the Backstage Rosy Glow Stick, and what I love to do with this, I'll take my F4 brush now from Mario, is take a bit on the brush, and instead of having any sort of highlighter is what I normally do, I like to pop a bit of this on the top. Now this is the product I was talking about. Look at that colour. Just look at the toffee when you add it on top of the powder. This is the one I was talking about that I should have added underneath powder for that locked in finish. So certainly for me, for those long days where I really want to know my blush is going to stand up all day, I would have done a bit of this under powder, then completed the whole look in exactly the same way I'm doing now. I'll just take that a little bit into the eye, but look at toffee when it is matched up with the powder. Look at the two together. They're absolutely stunning. Again, I think this will, well, I know this is coming on holiday. This combination, this and probably the pink, that'll be my two blush combinations, or maybe the lilac, but I think I'm going to save lilac for more autumn winter time. I think toffee is just absolutely stunning. If you haven't tried this combination, genuinely don't think there's a better blush combination than these two products together. I think it is the best ever, honestly. Now what I really do not need now is a highlighter, but how can I do a Dior review without bringing a highlighter? So I'm going to use my foundation brush to go around the edges to just slightly take this down because I'm going in with a highlighter. Now I thought hard about highlighters because I've got so many favourites from Dior. I think they have to be them and Chanel, my favourite highlighters, but I think Dior does take my top spot for highlighters as well, and that's because mostly they've got these gorgeous liquid ones. So this year I've loved their powder ones, and I would love to do, if I was choosing a favourite from them, it'd probably be the Luminizer powder in Lavender. I love that. I also love the pink, the new pink that came out recently, but I love the I've got all of these. I think they are gorgeous. Did I say Luminizer then? Maximizer. I was confused the two. So I've got every single shade in this and they are so stunning. You can take this directly on the cheek, but you know, I'm not going to today. Sometimes you do have a limited amount of time, and I've had this one now for, well, a year. So let's see how it's lasting after a year, because they're not supposed to last that long, are they? Having said that, I'm using the shade Nude, and that one launched this year. Nude. Oh, so it isn't that old, but I can tell you the ones I bought last year have gone way beyond the use by date and they're absolutely fine. So I'm not going to advise, oh, just look at it, just look at the way it sits. It is absolutely stunning. It is so beautiful. I knew I was going to love doing this video. Thank you for voting, Dior, everyone. Oh wow, what a combination. That's another, I said I wouldn't normally do all three, but if you really want to be glowy, extra glowy, and feel a bit extra special, why not go for all three actually? I'm so glad I tried that now, because I think I'm going to take all three on holiday. In fact, I'll take my pink colour Glow Maximizer to go with my pink combination of the glow stick and Backstage blush, and I'll take this one, Nude, which works so well with toffee. Oh Dior. I'll take a little bit of this on my fingers, I think, and just pop a little bit on my nose. There and there. It's a little bit too pigmented for my nose, so I'm just going to tap it in, but just give a little bit of sort of natural glow on the nose and the Cupid's bow. Maybe a little bit here as well. The one place I never like to put highlighter is my chin. A lot of people do, but I do tend to get a bit of an oily chin, especially this time of year, so it doesn't need any help in shining. I was going to move to eyes, but I think I'll move to lips and then do eyes. And the reason for that is my lips are getting so dry that I don't want to put a lip balm on and then wipe it off. So I'm going to move straight to lips. I can't pick a favourite lip combination with Dior because there are just so many beautiful lipsticks, so many gorgeous lip glosses. I love the Maximizers. I have tons of them sitting here on my desk. I literally have them all the time. I love their lip glosses. That's the Maximizer. I love their lip oils. They are glorious. They are always sitting on my desk. Here is the Lilac Maximizer. I mean, I could go on. There are tons of them, literally. I adore them. So I can't pick a favourite. I'm just going with one I think will work well for this look. But what I don't have a lot of is their lip liners, just basically because I love the ones I've already got. But they are actually really good. And when I was choosing one for today, I swatched it on my hand yesterday and it was still there in the evening after washing my hands many times. So it has excellent longevity. I just don't have very many. So the shade I've gone for is Greige Attitude. I'll show you on my hand. It will be there this evening. It goes on very creamy, but once it dries, there's no moving this one. And the formula on this is creamy enough to go all over the lips if you wanted to do that, and then add some sort of lip gloss. And if you want to do that as well, there is this brush which you can use to fill the lips and to line. So that's a bonus if you use those. And then the lipstick I'm going with today, I've got the case I got with their Christmas collection. This is probably the prettiest case I've ever got from Dior. I think it is absolutely stunning. Obviously this isn't available now, but there will be plenty more coming, don't worry. We have an autumn release coming from Dior. I've already seen pictures of it. And we're going to have a few different colours, I think, with the cases. And so the shade I've gone for here with the lipstick is the Dior Addict formula, which is a lovely creamy formula. And the shade I've got here is called Nude Mitzah. So here are the two together. I think Nude Mitzah is an all year round sort of shade, but I think it's also really nice for summer, and I think it'll work with the eye shades I'll be wearing today. Isn't that beautiful? And Dior Addict always brings enough hydration for me to never need to reach for any sort of lip balm or gloss. It is so hydrating, it gives a lovely shine, it has reasonable longevity, not a ton but reasonable. And it's just a lovely formula. So I thought it'd make a change for me using glosses. I always tend to use glosses in most of my videos with something else. So it's nice to use a lipstick that doesn't actually need that. And this is really beautiful. So now I'm going to move on to eyes. So when it comes to eyeshadow, I've got two favourites when it comes to Dior. And my first favourite, which is in their permanent line, is the single shadows. So these are the Mono Couleurs Couture, I think that's the full name. And this one is Beige Mitzah. I thought I'd show you this one. I'm not actually going to wear this today, but this one is probably my favourite shade. So I'll just quickly show you if you're not familiar with Beige Mitzah. It is absolutely sensational as a one and done, or maybe a little bit of brown bronzer in the crease. This all over the eye, absolutely stunning. One of the nicest one and done shadows ever created. I'm going to pair it with an eyeshadow Quint that I love in this shade, which you may not have seen quite as much. This one is Amber Star Glitter. This one is a little bit more fancy, being a glitter, but it's so pretty, and I think this is a gorgeous shade for summer. Here it is. Beautiful, isn't it? And I'm going to pair this with a, I say Quint, is it a Quint? It is, isn't it? I can never open these because of my nails. But anyway, I've got it open. So this is one of the Diorshow 5 Couleurs limited edition that launched. This one is the Coral Couture, which I haven't worn as much, but this one's a perfect shade for summer and I love it. Number 671. This was the limited edition collection that launched, but I think there are still some available. So at the time of putting this video out, they're the ones that have this hard cover. And these formulas are the best formulas in Quints I've ever bought from Dior. It is the best ones. I'm sure plenty of you who have been buying Dior longer than I have the cream to powder sort of formulas that you love. This is the cream to powder formula, which is probably why it's my favourite, because I only started my sort of deep collection doing this with my work in the last few years. So I haven't been buying the formulas that a lot of you have talked about from the past. until this one came out, because they brought that formula back, or they've made a new version, and this is the best formula ever from Dior for me. So that's what I'm going to start with today. So using a blender brush, I'm going to go straight into the coral in the center here, which is a matte. I'm going to keep this quite a simple look because I want to mix it up with that one and done. But obviously I'm not going to be doing a one and done. Now when it comes to my holiday, I'm really stuck about eyeshadow. What do I take? Because on holiday, I like to not worry about taking too much time, but at the same time, it's nice to put on makeup when it's not work, and it's nice to just sit there and take my time as well and really enjoy my makeup without having to film. Not that I don't enjoy filming, don't get me wrong, but it's just nice to relax knowing I don't have to edit afterwards and all those other things. So I'm really stuck. There's so many eyeshadow palettes I want to take. I won't take ones that might break. Something like this would travel really well. I love taking Diorissimio. I love taking one and dones. I love those new NYX highlighters. I really don't know. I have not decided what I'm taking on my holiday yet. I won't take one because I've got one big suitcase to put everything in, and then I've got one big travel bag, and the only thing going in the travel bag for me will be makeup. So plenty of room to take a few eyeshadows, which I will cling on to on the plane and look after. I'd love to hear your favourites for holiday, for summer holidays, when you're looking for those summer colours. What are your favourite eyeshadows? Have you got favourites, or have you got a favourite this year which you think, oh, I have to have that for a holiday? Because right now, off the top of my head, the Nude Diorissimio is probably quite high on my list. So is the latest Viseart. They've got a good chance of coming with me. And then taking the NYX highlighters. Love those NYX highlighters for a quick look that looks really good on the eyes. I don't know if I'll use them as actual highlighters, but I'll definitely be using them on my eyes. So I think what I'll do now is go straight into the Amber Star. I'm going to try this with a brush, which I don't normally do, but I'm trying to use brushes a bit more lately. So this is the Sonia G flat brush, and I'm not putting any sort of glitter glue down because I want to see, I don't want this to be too strong actually. I want this to be a relatively soft look. I'm thinking of going for a halo eye effect. So I'm going to put this on the outer edge first. Going on well with the brush. I don't think I'm getting sparkly fallout. I say as I think I feel some fall. Maybe that was my imagination, but look, it's going on well with the brush. Such a pretty colour, isn't it? So as I say, what should I take on holiday? And then I put Amber Star on my eyes. I think I've just answered my own question there. This one has to come. I'll take it now on this side, on the inner corner. I'm having a bit of a halo eye phase at the moment. I stopped doing halo eyes for a while because a lot of the sort of colours coming out for halo eyes that I thought would work for halo eyes, they were too dark, the shade that you'd have to put here for me. Because if I put a really dark shade here, it just doesn't work on me at all. It really doesn't. For some people, especially people with sort of brunette shade hair, it looks absolutely stunning. Or if you've just got basically a warmer complexion, I think. But on me, with my fair sort of cool complexion, it really doesn't work. But a lot of the eyeshadows that have launched recently have lighter shades that work for me with halo eye looks. So I've been doing that a lot and I've been loving it. So I've been enjoying it a lot. And using this same brush with it just on the tip, I'm going to take it under so that it matches above and below. And now I'm going to take another flat brush, again from Sonia G, and I think I'm going to go for the lightest, which is more of a sort of satin shimmer in this palette. I'm hoping this will pop enough. If it doesn't, I'll go for the gold, but I want to go for the light one. I really want a bit of pop of light in the centre. Yeah, I think that's going to work nicely actually. To break up the amber, because one thing with the amber is it is quite deep on my skin tone, so I think it needs to be broken up with something, which is why I was hoping a halo eye sort of effect would be better for me with it. And I'll take that just below to match above and below again. And now using a fluffy brush, I'm taking a little bit of the amber glitter just to make sure I can see it above my hooded lid. And I'm also just going to slightly blend into the centre of the halo eye just so that they blend together more nicely and more softly there. Just sort of hint of the amber glitter above. Isn't that pretty? Can you hear Alfie crying by my door? Because he's gone past his lunchtime now, I think. As far as Alfie's concerned, it has anyway. I think I'll have to call my son and tell him to feed him for me. And I'll also take a bit of this satin on the fluffy brush just to make sure that's also above here. I'm actually going to go into the brown cashmere from this same limited edition collection because I want to use the brown to line. I don't have an eyeliner from Dior in that sort of brown shade, so this would be perfect, I think. So now I'm finishing this look with the mascara. This is the Diorshow Overvolume mascara, which comes in this beautiful packaging. It matches up with the limited edition eyeshadow packaging. These came out together. So it's in that sort of Dior handbag style. And this I've already started applying to this eye because I managed to turn the camera off and forget, so apologies. But I was saying how that this is a very good mascara. It's lengthening, separating, very long lasting, but it can smudge a little bit if it's particularly humid for me. Now you may find it doesn't do that because I do find that I'm particularly prone to having mascara smudge on me. Many mascaras that are perfect on so many people smudge on me. So you may find that this is absolutely fine. So I'm not saying not to try it, but it's just not something I could personally rely on. This wouldn't come on holiday with me for that reason. I wouldn't repurchase for that reason, unfortunately. But hopefully you can see just how lengthening this mascara is, because that is just one coat and that's all I like to wear with mascara. So it does give me that one coat look that I look for. It is very good and you may find it doesn't smudge on you, so I definitely wouldn't rule it out. It's just not my perfect one. But anyway, that actually completes my Dior look. Now, while I was waiting for my mascara to dry down, I'd just like to say I pulled out my second bag for holiday. I've got one on to the left of me for skincare I've been putting aside and sunscreens. I haven't started putting anything in for makeup, but because this video made a few decisions for me, helped me make them, I got a bag out and I put the eyeshadow, the One and Done shade, straight away into that bag. I put the two foundations from Dior into that bag because I'm going to try not to use them before I go because I've only got 5 days or so left. And what else did I put? I put the Toffee stick and the Toffee Backstage Glow as well. So they've gone straight in. Also, I put this lipstick because I just remembered how much I love that. But I might change my mind on that because I do need to be a bit sensible about how many lipsticks I take. And I've got about 50 on my list of lipsticks I'd like to take. So I need to get that down. But anyway, everything else is definitely staying in that bag, which will give you an idea of just how much I adore Dior. I really do, and obviously you do too because you voted for this, so I do hope you've enjoyed my full face of Dior. What do you think? I love it. It's made me happy doing this video. I've enjoyed every minute and it's been nice to do makeup I already know, so I'm not sort of getting any surprises, or I'm not trying on a makeup that's maybe it doesn't work so well for me. I know I'm trying things on that work well, they're reliable, they're beautiful, and I love it. I love this look. I love everything about them. So nearly everything in this video, they've been favourites, as you've seen. They're not all favourites, but a lot of them are, and this is a fabulous brand. And I would love to hear from you. What are your Dior favourites? Have I used any of them today? And if I haven't, I'd love it ever so much if you'd let me know which ones. But anyway, if you have enjoyed this, I will do another full face video. Lisa Eldridge came second, so maybe I'll do that next. I just have so many videos. A lot of you said, can I do all 4 and get them out maybe one a week or something? Somebody suggested, but there's just too much. There's too much to review. There's too many videos going out. It's too difficult for me to do sort of one a week. But I promise I will slot them in. And so the next one will be Lisa Eldridge, which I will plan. I'm just thinking when I get back from holiday, we're going to get dreaded holiday releases coming out soon. I've already seen the Dior full that's coming out in August, the autumn fall. So when I get back from holiday, I'm hoping we get a few weeks off so I can enjoy makeup and maybe do a few more videos like this before we go into that crazy period of the year of holiday and autumn/fall releases. Anyway, this has been great fun. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please do hit the like button, and if you're not subscribed, I would absolutely love it if you did subscribe to my channel. But if you're already subscribed, you're at the end of another video, and I absolutely appreciate every single one of you for being here, and I really hope to see all of you again for my next video. Take care everybody, bye.